so human. There are certain monstrous phrases uttered by people that imply unbelief. Some believers also use them, without realizing what they actually mean. I will explain 3 of the most important of these. The first, the causes have brought it about. The second, things have formed by themselves. And the third, it is natural. Nature necessitates and creates it. Indeed, since things undeniably exist, and as clearly observed, each thing comes into existence with great artistry and many wise purposes, and since nothing is eternal or without beginning, and everything comes into existence within time, then, O unbeliever, either things, for example that animal, have been invented by lifeless, unconscious, deaf and blind material causes coming together in a way requiring universal knowledge, consciousness, and will, or they form by themselves, or nature, or what you call natural powers caused it to exist. There is a fourth alternative that, combined with absolute knowledge and will, the power of an all-powerful one of majesty has invented it. Since there is no other way to explain the existence of things other than these 4, if the first 3 can decisively be proven to be impossible, the fourth way, which is the way of divine oneness, will necessarily and undoubtedly be proven true. The first way. This is the theory that things come into existence by the coming together of material causes. Out of numerous arguments that show the falsity and impossibility of such a stance, I will mention only 3. The first impossibility. Suppose there are hundreds of jars full of quite different substances in a pharmacy. We want to make some sort of liquid medicine or ointment out of them. So we go to the pharmacy and find out what the necessary ingredients are and what amount of each we should use. We see that an extremely precise amount should be taken from every ingredient. If the minutest amount more or less is taken, both medicine and ointment will lose their special properties and be of no use. Is it at all possible or conceivable that those jars could be knocked over by a storm and exactly the required amount from each ingredient should come together to form the medicine and ointment demanded? Can there be something more suspicious or absurd than seeing such a coincidental formation as possible? In this example, we should think of each thing, particularly each living thing, as an animate ointment, and each plant a living medicine. They are composed of numerous substances taken from a great variety of things in extremely precise amounts. Their attribution to the coincidental coming together of physical causes is much more impossible and inconceivable than the formation of any ointment or medicine as a result of the accidental coming together of substances in precisely required amounts, pouring from the jars as in the example. In short, it is only by an all-comprehensive, limitless wisdom, an infinite knowledge, and an all-encompassing will that any living thing in this vast pharmacy of the universe can be formed from the ingredients taken from substances in extremely precise amounts and measured on the scales of divine destiny or determining and decree. One who claims that they are the work of blind, deaf, and ignorant natural causes and powers, or elements like floods, is more stupid than the one who asserts that the medicine in the example is self-formed as the result of the jars being knocked over. The second impossibility. If everything is attributed to natural causes, not to the all-powerful One of Majesty, the one and unique, this means that many of the physical elements and causes should be present and work in the body of every living thing or being. However, that so many different and conflicting causes and elements come together of their own accord, in perfect order, in extremely precise measurements in the body of even the smallest of creatures, like a tiny fly, is so obviously inconceivable that one with even the smallest bit of consciousness could say, "This is inconceivable. It cannot occur." Indeed, the tiny body of a fly has a relationship and connection with most of the elements and causes in the universe. In fact, it is a summary or index of them. If it is not attributed to the eternal, powerful one, those elements and physical causes should be present and operate in it of their own accord. It is even required that they should be present and work in each of the cells of its eyes, which are tiny samples of its body. For if the causes or agents responsible for something's existence are of a physical nature, they should be present in the immediate vicinity of, rather inside, their result. Therefore, attributing a fly to natural causes and elements requires that those causes and elements should be present and work in each of its cells. Even the most foolish of the people of sophistry would be ashamed of such an assumption. The third impossibility. It is an established rule that a single, unique thing of particular individuality can only have issued from a single, unique source. If, in particular, a thing is a living one, with a perfectly ordered and most sensitively balanced life, it will self-evidently display that it has not issued from numerous different hands, which would be certain to cause great confusion and conflict, but rather it is issued from the hand of a single, all-powerful, all-wise one. Furthermore, the random coming together of innumerable, inanimate, ignorant, unrestricted, unconscious, blind, and deaf natural causes and elements for the existence of something would only cause the increase of their blindness and deafness amidst the limitless probabilities. Therefore, attributing any being, which has a unique, particular individuality formed of innumerable elements in perfect order and a most sensitively balanced way to such causes, would be as unreasonable as accepting numberless impossibilities all at once. Ignoring these impossibilities, physical causes or agents or powers affect something through direct contact. However, they have contact only with the exteriors of things or beings. But we see that the interiors of living beings in particular, where the hands of physical or natural causes or agents have no contact, are 10 times better ordered, more delicate, and artistic than their exteriors. The tiniest living things, the minutest creatures, which the hands of physical or natural causes and agents cannot reach, and with which they do not have direct contact, not even with their exteriors, are more strange and wonderful in art and more amazing in creation than the largest creatures. This being the case, only one who is 100 times more deaf and blind than the inanimate, ignorant, crude, distant, and conflicting causes and elements can attribute these creatures to those causes and elements.